Okay, welcome back to our Google tutorials. This last one of the 5 that we're going to show you to start with is actually one of the cooler tools that Google has presented for you, and it's called Google Documents. First thing, again, as always, is you're going to want to sign in to your Google account, and then the Documents one is actually located at the top right toward the end next to the calendar in Gmail. We'll click that to get started. Google Documents is and the basic way to explain it is it's a way to share ideas and share documents with people across the internet. Let's say you wanted to allow somebody to edit a document and you wanted to edit a document at the same time. Google makes it very, very easy. As you both can be editing at the same time, it will update, it'll save, and it'll basically store your files on Google site, so it's not stored on one computer or the other where the other person might not have access to it. It's stored on a common drive where you both can get access to it. This is a great tool for the classroom where if you have a Google Docs for your classroom, you can share papers with your students, ideas, assignments, even lectures through the presentation software that Google has done. Now this is a very, very rough idea of what Google Docs is going to offer, is what we're going to go over today. Is we don't have time to really get into every single program, but we're going to give you a little rough idea and some of the different things that you can do along with sharing it. What you see right here is going to be the Google Docs homepage, and as you can see, it already have a number of Google documents that are up there, all listed right here. One of the big things you're going to see is you're going to see the title. This is going to be the name of the file. You're going to see the owner. Now this is the person who initially starts it. And the person who initially starts this, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, is the person who is going to have control over who can access the document and what they can do, whether they can just view it or whether they can actually edit it. And then, of course, it's going to be the date, the last date modified, and who actually is the one who modified it. This is a great way in your classroom to keep up with who is getting on the website or getting in access with these documents and who is not. One of the things, and this is going to really, really help you out, is if you can get an idea of what these little icons mean. If you see this first one, it's a blue one. This is actually going to be a Google document. And this is, for lack of a better explanation, going to be your closest one to Word. All right, the Microsoft programs, Word. And it's part of their Office. If you go down a little bit farther, you're going to see a different one right here. We're going to see a form. Now, a form is going to be a little bit different, and we'll explain what a form is a little bit later. But basically what that's going to be is it's going to be a little questionnaire that you can fill out and have filled out. And that's going to be by the little list. Now, there's another green one. If you look down here, this is going to be a spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet is what Excel would be. And if we keep going down, you see the red square, and that's going to be a PowerPoint document. So all those are up there. You see these little ones that are different right here. This one's actually going to be a PDF file, and a PDF file that you can share is a fantastic way to get your documents from one part of the internet and over to you to access it. The basic steps, and we'll just basically go into this through. Well, let's go over to how you can sort. And you can sort this in very different ways. You can go to the home, which will show you all of them. Ones that are starred, and again, we've done this before, is if you star some different items, you can star them, and then that will list all the ones you starred. So let's say you have favorites. That would be a great way to do your favorites. Ones that you own, and then, of course, all items. Or if you've deleted some, you can load your trash. Also, you can add things to collections. If you have a bunch of different ones in a collection, you can have a folder and you can organize them into collections. That way, there's not just, as you can see here, a whole bunch in a list and you have no idea where they are. It's just a better way to organize. And then, of course, you have your collections that you started and then ones that people have shared with you. One of the things that you need to get used to on this front page is if I click one of these things, if I click the first one, first of all, it selects them all. You can always just unclick it. Or if I click one or the other, let's say I click this one, there's a bunch of options that now come up at the top. Up at the top, you can share it. We can organize it, and that just means we're going to put it into a folder. We can move it to the trash, throw it out. We can preview it, or we can do a few more things. And most of those things, we can add stars, and this is all stuff. Rename it, mark as viewed. download or unsubscribe to that. And we'll talk a little bit more about those options, but a lot of them you can do just outside this drop-down box. So let's just show you what happens if I delete it. We will click right here, move to trash, and it should load. My computer's taking a little bit of time, but it will load eventually and throw her in the trash can. All right, so that's the basic interface that you're going to see when you go to the Google Docs homepage. And it's, again, a fantastic tool that once you get used to using, you're really going to like it. So let's create a document, and we'll show you how you can create one and share it and who you can share it with and all that good stuff. So let's go over here. We're going to create a document, and it shows you all the different things that you can create. You can create a collection of documents, and basically what that is, it's going to put some of the documents that you've already created all into one folder, which you can share all together. It's a great way to get a lot of information all together as one. Again, document, that's going to be your closest to Word. Presentation is PowerPoint. Spreadsheet is Excel. Form is going to be a different one. Drawing is going to be like a paint. And then table is a different type, and they're still working on that. That's why it says beta. So it's going to be a rough copy, but you can get the idea of what's going to happen. We're just going to create a Word document here, and you can go in and most of them, as you're going to see from the Word documents, are going to be very, very similar, or from the document, very, very similar to Word and what a Word document would look like. All the editing that could take place, all the different options you're going to have are all there. You will have less options than you would if Word, but almost all the basic ones and the ones that you definitely need are right here. One of the nice things is also in the new Words, you can create a PDF straight from Word, so you can always create it on Word, create a PDF, and then share it with Google Docs using a PDF file. And again, Google has made it very, very easy. And again, they want people using their program, so they want to make it as easy as possible. So we're just going to share this. We're going to call this is a test. And again, if I need to, we can just highlight it. I can change the color to anything. I can change the, let's go with that, the background to anything of the text, and that's something that they don't do very well. I can add a link. I can add a picture. I can do all this other stuff, change this. And again, some of the things that you notice with the font, not a lot of options, whereas Word you get more options. And in order to do certain things, they just couldn't add that many options, but that's okay. You can do a whole bunch of different things, including print, undo, and then make a web clipboard, all of this other stuff. Most of the stuff that you can see, you're going to be able to do. Okay. Every time you do something, you're going to notice this up here, saving. It will automatically save for you, and there it is again. Once it's done, it will say document saved. And I'll tell you what, this is one of the greatest features about this, that it auto-saves, because it's nothing worse than working with a document, having something happen with your computer, and then it's not saved. Comments over here, if you want to make some comments on somebody else's, we can do that, and you can add a comment, and it will notify the other person of your comment, or if you want to share it with other people. Right now, as you can see by this little lock, only I can access this document. We're going to change that in a second once I change the name, and right here, all you got to do to change the name is click on the name and enter a new name, and we will say test file, click OK, and there you go. We can also start if it's going to be one of our favorite programs. So let's start. And then, of course, if we want to put it in a folder, we'll just click the folder. It will load. Hopefully it loads faster. And then I can explain it. And then we can decide where we want to put it. Okay? Here we go. So now, oh, there it is. Here's where, and so we'll say it's part of our Google Doc class. Now we're just going to leave it. So we'll cancel it because we don't have any files there. And we don't want to add any more. Okay, so let's go over to the share. We're gonna change how we can do this. So let's click share, and now this is going to bring up all our share options. Who do we want to share it with? I am the owner right now, okay? And so it's automatically, since I am the owner, it will be shared with me, okay? I can change it, so we're going to change it to 3 different options. Anybody with the link can get access to it, or anybody on the World Wide Web. If it's a private document, you definitely do not want to click the World Wide Web. If it's a semi-private one, we'll go with anybody with a link. That means that you're going to send them the link, and then they'll be able to view it. If you don't want even anybody to do it, then we'll go with we're going to go with the private option if you don't want anybody else to view it. Now, here's how you're going to do it then. Once you say, okay, well, I'm going to send to these people with a link, what can they do with it? Can they view it? Sure. Can they comment on it? That'll what we showed you before, the comments. It will notify you of comments and what people said, and then maybe you're writing a paper. All right, and this is a great way for teachers to get peer editing. You got to go home. Your homework assignment is to peer edit somebody else's paper. Well, everybody puts all their papers on the document or on the Google Docs. You go in there, you read somebody else's paper, and then you can write some comments on it. And then another one would be, let's say we have a group project, and I need to do one part, and somebody else needs to do another part of the paper. Well, I did my part. Now they're going to go in there, and I'm going to allow these people to edit my paper because they're going to add their part. And then when we get back into class, all of it will all be in one document or one presentation. This is especially great if you're doing slides in the presentation software similar to PowerPoint. So let's make sure everybody can edit it. We'll do it that way. And then we're going to save it. So anybody with the link, and I'm going to show you how to provide somebody with the link. And here it is. So anybody who has the link can do this, and we're going to share the link. We can do it via Google+, Gmail, Facebook, Twitter. I can Twitter this out to all my followers. I can send it via Facebook to people I know, Gmail, or I can just search people from my contacts, and this will send them an email. If I just want to send anybody an email, and again, they can all edit it. If I want to send somebody, if I have Google Contacts in there, it'll search just for their name, and we'll get everything there. If I do send an email, one of the things that I can do is I want to paste, or I can send a copy to myself, and that's something you always want to do. And then, of course, share and save. But, of course, in order to do that, you'd have to share it with at least one person. Okay, so we're going to cancel this. We're done. It is still shared just for people who have the link. So if later on I want to go and show people the link, that's perfect. This is our test file, and what we're going to do now is file. You can do all this other stuff, rename, make a copy, see revision history. This is great, especially if you want to see who shared and who did what. Let's click on it and revision history. So it shows you exactly what did I do. Okay, well, I did at April 6th at 1:23 p.m. I did this. All right. So, and then it can also show you more detailed revisions. What did I do then? Okay, well then at that time I did this. At that time I did that. At that time I did that. Now let's just say somebody screwed it up and made changes that you did not. We can always go back and restore some of the changes that were made by other people. That would essentially get rid of those changes if it's something that you did not want to do. All right, that's perfect. Now we're going to go back to our Google Docs homepage. And there we go. So there it is, test files at the top. It's in our starred folder. So if we click on starred folders, there it is. And again, we started at 1:27 p.m. and I am the owner. Me is the owner. Some of the other options, again, as always, comfortable, cozy, compact. And then, of course, we can always sort by the title, last modified, storage used, and we'll show you how much that is, how big it is, or the priority. Okay, and you can go with that. We're going to go with last modified just because it seems to be the easiest for me. Okay. Let's say we go with upload. Upload is going to be where you're going to get the PDF files from once you made it from before. You can, again, convert text from uploaded PDF and image files to a Google Documents, or you can just upload those PDF files themselves. We can add storage. Right now we are using very little of that storage, actually zero of the amount that we are allowed. And again, Google couldn't give you unlimited, otherwise people would take advantage of it. So if we upload files, it'll eventually come up. We're going to be able to click some things from my files that I've created before, mostly with the words or other things, and it will go there. As you can see, it's loading at the top. All right, so one more thing I want to show you real quick is let's say I want to go and I want to do this. So let's click on this. It's shared with my entire class. And we're going to click on this Cardinal basketball one. It's going to take us straight to the PowerPoint, that's great.